morning, everyone. It is Monday, July 18th, 2022, and we are back today with Dr. Timothy Bray for our 5-Minute Mondays. Dr. Bray, tell us what's up.
Thanks, Danny. Good morning. As you can see, this is our trend graph for the state of Texas. Statewide, as of yesterday, there were 193,822 active cases. We've not been at this level since roughly February of earlier this year, and this number is higher than our first COVID outbreak back in July, August, September of 2020. Numbers are true, by the way. They're holding the same for Dallas County. If we take a look at Dallas County, our little map will agree with us. There we go. Same thing. So basically, since mid-April, we've had that slow and steady rise. This constant increase has left us in the CDC's high risk for transmission zone. They suggest, and you'll see, for instance, at the local grocery stores now, the signs say mask is strongly recommended for entrance. That's because the CDC's guidelines in high risk transmission is that we should be wearing masks indoors or when we're close to other people. The thing we've got to pay attention to, we've got to keep our good hygiene practices. And most importantly, we need to stay home when we're sick. What people need to remember is the symptoms of COVID still tend to look like the symptoms of a cold. With as highly virulent as Omicron is, there's a good chance if you think you're getting a cold, take a COVID test. There's a very good chance it might be COVID. So then you can make an informed decision, stay home, limit your exposure to other people, because while for many of us the symptoms are like the ordinary cold, there are people who are highly susceptible to this, and this creates long-term health problems for them. We need to keep those people safe. I'll finish with the stats here on the left. North Texas, new cases in the last 7 days, 21,000 cases, up 12% from the week before. Active cases, 43,000, up 16% from the week before. Fatalities are rising, but you'll notice that our fatality counts are much smaller compared to what we saw way back in the earlier, in the Delta wave, et cetera. This is because the symptoms are much less severe, even though the disease is much more highly contagious. So wash your hands, practice good hygiene, stay home when you're sick.
Thank you, Dr. Bray. I do have a few questions for you, but I'll still try to keep it within that 5 minutes. My first one for you is, you talk about testing, and I know there's a third round of government tests that you can get, COVID at-home tests. If you go to the USPS website, I can link that in here. What is the general protocol advice for if I take an at-home test positive? Do I need to go take a PCR test? Do I need to tell my doctor? Is that enough for me to stay home?
So that's a personal decision about whether or not you go to your healthcare provider. I will tell you what the CDC suggests. If you test positive, whether it's a PCR lab test or a home test, the recommendation is that you isolate for 5 days from the beginning of onset of symptoms, not from the date you test positive. Because for most people, they haven't felt well for 2 or 3 days. They take a test, they find out they're positive. That means they've got 2 more days of isolation. And we don't come out of isolation until our symptoms are on the decrease and we don't have a fever, right? So that means you may be done in 5 days. You may be done in 6, 7, or 8 days. After that, it's 5 days of wearing a mask. Personally, I think my own choice would be, if I got a home test that told me that, I would probably just follow those rules. But if it's a personal medical decision, go to your doctor, find out what your doctor advises you to do.
Thank you, Dr. Bray. And how does that, these at-home tests situation affect your numbers, right? Can we assume that there are more numbers, or can we assume the cases are higher, or not quite?
Yeah, it's the variable number, right? Because we don't know now with the home tests, those numbers don't go anywhere. So let's say you test positive at home, you don't require hospitalization, you don't require any additional medication from your doctor, you just stay home and recuperate like you would with the flu. Your numbers are not in this 21,000 new cases. So there's a really good chance that our numbers are underreporting. And to that end, it may well be that we've been in a high risk situation for a couple of weeks now, but because of underreporting, because you don't have to go to the doctor or to a lab to get a test anymore, it's quite possible that we're underreporting maybe by as much as half even the number of actual cases that are out there. I'll close with this, Danny. Layer in the fact that some people are asymptomatic or very, very mildly symptomatic, don't even take a test because they don't know that they have COVID.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bray. I will remind our UT Dallas community that we are highly recommending wearing masks indoors when you are on campus,
That's
at
right.
campus events, and just around people to create a safe environment. Thank you so much, Dr. Bray. We will see you next week.
Thanks, Danny.